Alright guys, welcome back. We're doing the non-metallic metal Sanguinor. So, last time we kind of left off, I had scrubbed the mini down, and we're getting ready to prime. Now, I've already primed the body, okay, and let's talk about priming technique. Now, instead of showing you a video, because I could, but this is just easier, okay? So what you want to do is when you're priming, you get your primer. In this case, I actually quite like to use Krylon primer. You can find it at Walmart. I bought this for $4. I like it much better than the Games Workshop primer. Mainly because the Games Workshop primer isn't a primer. It's just spray paint. And as you can see, it dries in 10 minutes or less. Actually, you can't see, but it says dries in 10 minutes or less. And I find it dries within 3 minutes. Because the way I'm priming is I'm not just taking the figure. In this case, oh, by the way, I glued everything together and I made the base. The base is just piles of skulls and then some tiny rocks put into the cracks, and then on this cool little rounded base. But the way I prime is I don't hold the mini and then go psh right on it. You don't want to do that. That pools all that primer stuff into the cracks, and then you don't get the fine little details you want. Okay? So what you really want to do is you want to do thin layers, and by thin layers I mean like 3 to 5 thin layers going across the mini. So instead of spraying it on like this, you're gonna go kind of like in a sweeping motion. You're gonna start spraying here, you're gonna end here, right? So I just do this. I just flick my wrist, right? Go across the whole mini, right? And you want to spin the mini as you do this, right? You want to get the top. You want to go from the bottom. You want to get all angles. Now, you don't have to completely cover the miniature. This is where a kind of a lot of falsehoods come in, because people think, oh, there's bare metal showing. That means I have to keep adding primer. That's not true at all. Inside this can, there are 2 things. 1, color. 2, priming agent. Okay? Now, essentially, by mixing it up, you're mixing the color and the priming agent. So when you spray, what happens is they're already mixed together, and when they hit the mini, you see the change in color. Otherwise, it's just going to be this kind of like clear film that kind of looks weird. So, what that means, though, is even if there is bare metal showing, when you spray, you're also hitting the miniature with that other priming agent. And just because bare metal is showing doesn't mean it's not covered by the priming agent. So it's still able to be painted over, right? You can take your brush and you can still paint over, right? You can keep going. You can paint and stuff. So when it comes to priming, it's okay if there's bare metal showing. Now, to kind of prove the technique, let's say you got your wings, right? There's our guy, head, got a sword, his other hand out here, something, and he's come down, legs, a lot of scrolls, right? And he's off the ground, there's the base. Okay, so really horrible drawing. That's okay. So you want to start priming here, right? Go across the mini and end here. Okay, so, and that will create this, it leaves a nice even surface across the miniature. And you want to do it about 3 to 4 times, okay? So that's totally wrong. 3 to 4 times. So the next thing you guys want to do is you want to plan out the miniature. I already kind of have planned it out. I'm kind of basing it off of the color scheme that the heavy metal people have done. And so I'm mainly doing non-metallic metal gold. Okay? That is the mainstay of this miniature. I also have to do, if I'm doing one part of non-metallic metal, I have to do everything else non-metallic metal, because doing one thing non-metallic metal and then everything else in metallic paints, it's going to look strange. So I have to throw in non-metallic metal silver. Now I'm not doing steel or copper or bronze, because this miniature is, I'm assuming his character profile is pretty up there, so I don't think he would have inferior metals. So I'm using these two non-metallic metal techniques. Another thing we need to do is the wings, okay? So the wings, they're just going to be white, okay? We also need to do red for the Blood Angel symbols, the gems, the shoulder pads, right? So just red. Doesn't even need anything else. Yes, my writing is horrible. We also need to do the sword, the power sword. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this similar to the Games Workshop one. Similar, not really. It's going to be along the same lines. So, that I'm going to paint kind of greenish blue. The scrolls. So they're just going to be off-white. Or browny white. And dirty. Okay, so planning done. Now you need to get the paints. Now I've already got the paints already. And the selection of paints that I'm using is actually quite large. These are all the paints I'm using to paint this miniature. I'm pretty sure. Now, the way I like to paint non-metallic metal gold is quite an arduous process. And it involves these colors. So most of the colors here are going to be for the gold. Now you can break it down to just 5 simple colors, and you can paint it simply with snakebite leather, bleached bone, skull white, terracotta, and chaos black. If you don't have terracotta, dark flesh is okay. Now, I like to throw in steps in between all these, and in between terracotta and chaos black, I throw in dark flesh, and to base coat, I actually do a mix of Kelthin brown and snakebite leather, then highlight with snakebite leather, then highlight with bubonic brown, add in some bleached bone, and eventually end off with skull white. I also like to throw in some Badab black, in there, and some Devlin mud into the chaos black and stuff for the shadows. And then at the very end, I glaze color into the armor. I'll glaze purple, red, and yellow. Okay. Now it's gold, so the yellow makes it really kind of a crisp gold. The red is more so just reflections, and the purple is mostly going into shadows to kind of bring out those shadows and make it contrast with the armor itself. And why that works is simple color theory. The complementary color of yellow is violet, right? So if non-metallic metal gold armor is yellow or yellow-orange, right, and we're going to be more in the yellow-orange section, then you need a blue-violet or a violet to kind of contrast those and make it stand out, make it look more true to its color, because that's what complementary colors do. So I'm going to be using the Lich Purple and glazing it over the shadows and certain areas to make the armor itself seem more gold-like. Now for the non-metallic metal silver, I'm going to use Fortress Gray, Codex Gray, Skull White, Black, and Bleached Bone. Okay, now I'm also probably going to use some Badab Black. And for glazing, I'm going to glaze some more colors in here, but I'm only going to glaze blue. right? I'm not going to glaze anything else. And this is mostly just for this halo-like thing, because I'm not really seeing any other parts that I'm going to be painting that silver color. Now, I will be painting all the the connector joints with a similar motif. They're just going to be Codex Gray, Chaos Black, and Skull White. So they're going to be similar. They're going to be more like a steel, but just it's the silver just dumbed down a little.